when you hit a billion and you black and you're a billionaire and you black in America, that's when you become a threat. Or even if you figure out a way to become independently rich as a black male in this country, that is when you become a threat in this country. If you a hood dude going around shooting and robbing people and breaking in homes, these people in America are like, bravo. Yes, keep up the good work. Because guess what's going to end up happening? You're going to be in prison, which is AKA slavery, which is where they want your ass. Or 2, in the graveyard, which is where they really want your ass. So, the more hood and thugging you are, that's, we got free labor in the prison system, with your dumb ass going in and out of jail. Because you got to work. You need to sit on your ass. And you're going to be working for 11 cents. Probably not even that. I think 6 cents, some shit like that. That's slavery. And you're going to be working 8-9 hours like you do on the streets for 11 cents. So that's a win-win for the establishment. For these, for these pink folks. Find a way to become, I'm learning this late in life. Find a way to become successful and rich and work for yourself. That's the enemy. That's where the power lies. If you a black woman, or not even just men, if you're a black male or female and you figure out a way to get big money on your own, that's when you become a threat. Because guess what? You can start helping other black people buy homes. You know what I'm saying? You can help. Very few black people in America can help another black person come up. Legitly, if that's even a word. Like, very few black people in America can help a black person get out of achieve financial freedom. That's why people like Diddy, Tyler Perry, I would even go as far, I would say Jay-Z, but Jay-Z's not a threat. Jay-Z, people like Jay-Z, Oprah, hate to say it, but LeBron James, they're not a threat because they got rich, not independently, but through the white folks. You know what I'm saying? Self-made would be somebody like a Diddy. Diddy would be self-made because he kind of came up through the ranks. He worked with Andre Harrell. He kind of got plugged in, but he manages to kind of do it like independently. You know what I'm saying? Despite his personal life, he became a threat. Tyler Perry, you see, they trying to come after him with some gay sexual allegations. Homeboy want $260 million from his ass. And I heard that some other people have came forward against Tyler Perry, but I don't know who Tyler Perry got as his lawyers, but they're definitely keeping it hush hush to the point where it's not really rattling the pop culture right now. But they're gonna come back for him again. They did it with Michael Jackson. They did it with Prince. Michael was cool until he started kind of talking about they don't really care about us, and kind of like going in, on a lot of, then he fucked up when Michael really became a threat when he bought Sony. Michael wasn't supposed to be so rich that he was able to buy something that they created. Michael was able to do that. And people think, he bought the Beatles catalog. No, Michael got in position of power. That's why he became a threat. That's why they came after him with all those sexual. They wanted to tarnish his name. So that way, that stuff he bought, stuff he bought wouldn't be. I'm sorry about the light, y'all. That stuff he bought wouldn't be worth diddly. He was able to finagle all those publishing from those artists through Sony, because it wasn't just the Beatles. That's what I was getting ready to say. It wasn't just the Beatles. Michael had the publishing rights to the Rolling Stones, some of the Rolling Stones catalog. Elvis, like so many people. Like, it was like that catalog he bought, which was, I think at the time, like 200 and something million, which he bought that, I think, in the late 80s. I think by the time he died, that shit was worth billions. And that's why Michael became a threat. That's why I kind of believe that shit was a setup for him to pass away like he did, to be honest with you. You know what I'm saying? Prince too. Prince started to wise up and was doing independent shit without the labels. You know what I'm saying? That's the threat, black people. Is independently owned financial freedom without their help. That's the threat. You know, Tyler Perry having the biggest studio a black person has ever had in America, that's a threat. That's not an achievement. They'll say the shit in public to make themselves not look like assholes. But for the most part, that's a threat. You're a threat now. You know what I'm saying? You're a threat. Now, the only reason I think they probably haven't went after Tyler Perry yet, real hard, is because Tyler Perry, for the most part, on a lot of his movies and TV shows show black people in a negative light, especially black men. A lot of it do. You know, or it has a lot of. I was watching one movie. What's that show he got? Cold in Black or something? It's a series he got on Netflix or something. Something in Black. It's about this family, this Black dynasty family, and then I think one of the characters on the show, he's part of the family. He's gay, so of course the first scene I'm watching, I'm like, oh, I'm gonna check out this new show with Tyler Perry, and I'm gonna support the brother. I think the first episode, or the second episode, it's this dude pumping another dude in the booty. First couple minutes of the show. Okay, it's starting off. Okay, you see who the character. All of a sudden, two brothers in the bed banging each other in the booty. I said, oh shit. Of course, I said, that's why. I turned that shit off. I'm not gonna. So that's probably why Tyler Perry is not really being touched too much in the media. As far as like trying to come at him, with sexual allegations and stuff. I think it's because he first of all, he make brothers look bad, and his stuff really is geared towards black women empowerment, and also he dabbles in the LGBT community stuff. He puts that a lot in his movies and stuff. So that's propaganda they can put out there. So they ain't gonna mess with him too tight. You know what I'm saying? But they may come at him again because he is a black man who is he's a billionaire and he's independently made. That's the threat. So they may come back. They may circle back around. You see, Russell Simmons got the hell out of here. They was trying to come after him on some sexual allegation shit. Russell Simmons got the hell up out of here. He said, y'all ain't finna get me and bleed my damn, because that's what they was trying to come after him with, that RICO shit. And that's what they tried to get Diddy on. They don't give a fuck about them damn women getting sexual assaulted. They can give two, especially with some sisters, they can give two damn about somebody sexual assaulting, some black women being sexually assaulted. They can give two rats ass. Quiet as kept, they can give a fuck about white women being sexually assaulted. But they use that as a way to, we have to, to publicly make him look bad, so that way when they go after him with the RICOs and all that stuff, now we can get that money. Because once you get convicted of RICO, they can freeze and seize all your assets, all your accounts, your properties and everything. Throw your ass in jail and take everything from it. Clean your ass out. And that's what they really wanted that. But they was using the Cassie video. That's why that was being played on a loop over and over again. And, to get the public, look, y'all, he a horrible man. Yeah. Look how bad this, he can't control himself. He's an evil black man with a dick. Oh, Lord, they really want to paint that too. The black man can't control his ding-a-ling. Oh, he gonna rape and molest everybody. Oh, Lord Jesus. That's what they really want. They want to paint that picture in the media. So they was going with that. But I think all this money came. Then next thing, all this money came not from those hits he made and years of coming all this, all this talented music and all this talented and screwing over the artists like most of these regular executives do. It wasn't from that. It's because Diddy was sex trafficking. Yeah, that's why. Yeah, that's how he got his money. So we need to go after him with the RICO. They really want that RICO to get in Diddy's accounts. That's why I heard that Diddy spent over $100 million in just his legal team alone, because he was trying to save them from going into his damn account and draining his ass, draining his damn paper and his properties and shit. That's exactly why. Give a damn about them damn women. Damn sure don't give a fuck about Cassie ass. These women are pawns. You know what I'm saying? For a bigger picture. Drain this fool account. Now we got a couple hundred million that can go to the government and we can throw this nigga in slavery, which is i.e. prison. You know what I'm saying? Y'all better wake the fuck up, man, for real.